So everybody, welcome to another brewery review. Today we have the Schönramer Saphir Bock from Schönramer Brewery in Schönramer, Germany. Let's check it out right here on Brewery. Schönramer Brewery was founded by Franz Jakob Köhler in 1780 in Schönramer, Germany, and still remains a private, family-owned brewery today. Offering 9 year-round beers, 2 different websites, plus a variety of seasonal beers, Schönramer prides themselves on brewing beer the traditional Bavarian way in strict accordance to the German purity laws of 1516, with high-quality local ingredients. Offering such Bavarian classics like a Helles, Pils, IPAs, and stouts. Huh? Wait, did I misread something? Okay, go back. Wait, no. Other website, brewery philosophy. Okay, and I'm just paraphrasing here. In order to get a great beer in the truest sense of the word, it is not enough just to brew in accordance to the Reinheitsgebot. Our love for beer and quality go way beyond the requirements of the purity laws. Okay. So they're all about tradition and what the what is this? Also, why do you have 2 websites? Alright, so let's look at this puppy. So it's a Bock, which means usually that it's a strong beer. It even says right here on the bottle, strong beer. It usually means it's going to have a little bit more alcohol. It's usually going to have a darker roasted color. However, this guy it almost smells like a wine. A little bit fruity. So this thing is called a Saphir Bock because of the hops they use. They put a lot of hops in this thing, and it says that the natural spices from the hops make these sapphire characteristics and aromas. And one thing I do have to admit, I am drinking this on the date that it's apparently good until, so it's not the most fresh beer ever. However, it should still be okay. Let's try it out. It's kind of confusing. It's not like super hoppy, but you're also not getting like a whole lot of malty flavors. Like I said, it almost tastes a little bit like sour wine, kind of a little bit malty. You're tasting quite a bit of alcohol in it. It's kind of a weird beer. So on Schönramer's website, they say that they use a bunch of hops in this thing. However, you're not getting a lot of like fruity and bitterness to it. Not as much bitterness as you would expect from a beer that is bragging about their hop content, really. At the beginning, you're getting a little bit of maltiness, a little bit of kind of like a little bit darker roasted malts. It says that the aroma is complex and has like citrusy and passion fruit flavors. I'm not getting a lot of citrus. You are getting a little bit of souriness to it, but it's okay. I don't think it's an awful beer, but it's a little bit unexpected. You know what I mean? Let's go over a little bit of history about Schönramer here. They are an old brewery from 1780 they first opened. They're a private brewery, which means that it's been in the family and they're not part of some kind of global conglomerate or anything like that. They're very proud of that, by the way. However, there's a couple of things that I got a couple questions about. So on the website, you go under their description, they talk about the brewery and stuff like that. And just reading through their description, they say that they're a very traditional brewery, that although, you could have hops from all over the world and you can use different types of yeast, they stick to the Reinheitsgebot, like very, very strictly. And it says that multiple times throughout their description and on their website and whatnot. They're very proud to be German. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. However, I have a couple problems with that, and there's a little bit of controversy I've got, because if you go to all the different beers that they brew, they have ales, pale ales, India pale ales, imperial stouts, but that kind of raises some questions. On the one side, they say that they're this traditional German brewery that only brews according to the Reinheitsgebot, but then on the other side, they're brewing like craft brew stuff that's not traditional for Germany or the region whatsoever. I don't have a problem with that. The only thing I do have a problem with really is that they're saying they do one thing, but then they're kind of not a bad beer. It's not a great beer. In regards to like the bottle, for like example, I mean the label is like all coming apart. It's like a really cheap papery label. Great. The bottle, because you're in Germany, they all have the same type of bottles. But the label, it's like this shiny color, which is kind of cool, but it just feels really cheap and kind of papery. Doesn't affect the taste of the beer in any way, shape, or form. Just a comment on that. Let's look more some statistical information here, why don't we? It is a Bock, which is a lager type beer. Like I said, usually they're dark beers. However, this one is lighter in color. It has an alcohol percent of 8. There is unfortunately no IBU ratings given on here. It is a little bit better. I would probably guess maybe like 45. And you definitely do taste that higher alcohol percentage coming through. There is a distinct taste of alcohol that you get. So these guys are definitely the tale of two breweries. On one hand, you have the Pilsner, Helles, Dunkel Brewing, traditional Reinheitsgebot beer brewery. And on the other hand, then you got the Pale Ale, Stout, craft beer brewing brewery. They also say that they're very technologically modern and stuff, which again is kind of a contradiction. You're saying that you only brew according to these older styles and older traditional ways of doing stuff, but then you have the most modern technology brewing your beer for you, which is definitely not traditional. Maybe since they've been brewing beer for 280 whatever years, they should maybe stick to the stuff that they know, stick to the traditional Reinheitsgebot beers, and leave the craft beers to breweries that specialize in craft beers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, just because there's people doing a lot of newer stuff, that doesn't mean that you also have to get in that game. It's fine to keep doing what you've been doing. There's no problem with that. Coming down to the end of this guy here. Again, I really don't know what to think about this thing. It's not, the beer itself isn't anything great and wonderful and new. It's a very average beer, I guess I would say. But I'm really confused about this brewery in general. I don't know what they are. I don't know what their goals are. On the one side, they brew traditional stuff according to the Reinheitsgebot. But then again, they're saying that they brewed a pale ale or an IPA, which is definitely not traditional. I recommend you all to try it at least. Maybe you guys love it. That's the thing about beers. You don't take my word for it. I can only advise you and give you my opinions on this. But hey, man, maybe you have a totally different opinion on this thing. But I do want to hear you guys' opinions on this thing. So put them down in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like this beer. Don't forget to subscribe. I have a Twitter. I also have an Untapped account now. Untapped is pretty much just a beer Twitter. You can go on there and you can log all the different beers that you have and you can, share them with your friends and stuff like that. It's a really cool app. I really like it. I just got on it like this week. So I will also link that down in the description. But that's going to do it for this review today, guys. Hope you like it. And I'll see you guys next time on BLA.